Yeah, I've got a serious caffeine problem.
Yo everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to tell you how to get giant legs. Simple as leg day on a cut, get shredded as fuck. So starting off today, we've had 3 eggs and 1 piece of toast, which is 50 calories. Nimble brown bread, which I've been having every cut for the past 2 years. 3 eggs, going to go down to the gym, hit a leg day. We've got with us an apple, can you even see that on the camera? An apple and some water. Bit fucking boring, but it is what it is. Head down to the gym. I'm going to show you how to get giant legs because I feel like unless you're mad serious about the gym, you probably neglect your leg gains a little bit. So I'm going to show you how to get big legs, training intensity, and actually exercise selection as well. So if you want big legs, just follow along with what I'm doing in this video and you will grow as long as you eat right as well. So I'm going to head down to the gym now. You'll see what we're doing. Let's fucking hit a mad session. And then after the workout, I'm going to show you what we're eating to also get big legs and just get jacked in general. So let's run it. But before we get into this, I just want to say that genetics will have quite a big part to play in this. So if you've got shit leg genetics, you may just struggle to grow your legs in general because, say for example, you've got person A who's got amazing genetics, but trains legs once a week, or once every 2 weeks, let's say, with okay intensity, good form, but a pretty mediocre diet and pretty poor sleep. Then you get person B, who's got shit genetics, amazing sleep, trains legs twice a week, has an amazing diet, trains with crazy intensity. Who do you think has better legs? It's going to be the person with better genetics most of the time, which is a bit annoying. I get that, it's quite annoying, but that doesn't mean that you can't grow your legs. There's still a lot you can do to grow your legs. So we're going to get into that and break down, again, what we're doing to grow our legs, how to eat to grow your legs. It's everything to do with legs. We're going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to head down to the gym. I'm going to talk you through my actual workout. So you're going to see the training clips and me talking through the exercises. So stick around and you're going to see exactly what we're doing to get juicy fucking legs, boys. Right, boys. So as you can tell by the title, we're getting into the main bit of the video now, which is how to get big legs. And we've already spoken about genetics and that sort of thing. So we're actually going to talk about what I do on my leg days. So first of all, as you'll see from these training clips which are going to come up, this is in exercise order from start to finish, and it's obviously not including cardio, which we do at the end of every single session. So on a leg day, my leg days right now are quad focused. So just in terms of number of exercises that we do 1 hamstring exercise, 3 quads, 1 calf, and 1 adductor, which the adductor sort of makes up your quad as well, but I'm going to put that as a separate muscle group. So all my workouts always start with a hamstring curl. So you can do these lying, you can do these seated. However, when it comes to lying and seated hamstring curls, you've got a little bit of a bias change. So when you do lying hamstring curls, you're training the hamstrings in the shortened position. When you train them seated like this, you're training them in the lengthened position. So if you're doing an RDL, which trains the hamstrings in the lengthened position, what I would do is I would pair these up with a lying hamstring curl. However, because I'm only doing 1 hamstring exercise, because I do my hinge patterns on a back day, because I'm only doing 1 hamstring, then I'm going to do a lying because I'd rather challenge it in the lengthened position anyway. So that's exercise number 1, and you would have just seen in terms of training intensity, execution, form, that sort of thing. You'll see that in the training clips. So after we do that, you've already got a nice little pump in your hamstrings, which will help us on the squat later on in the session. But exercise number 2 is going to be a leg extension. So leg extensions, I used to do them after my squatting pattern, but for the past probably 6 to 8 months, I've been doing them before my squatting pattern. For me, it just helps the blood flow to my actual muscles. It helps pre-activate the quads, pre-exhaust the quads before I do go into my squat movement. So we're doing leg extensions. Obviously, in the gym that I go to, there's like 3, I think, is he 4? No, 3 leg extensions. They've got 2 prime and 1 hammer strength. So this is the prime. And in terms of volume, every single exercise that you see will all be 2 sets. So every single exercise will be a top set, which is usually in the rep ranges of 5 to 9. And then a back off set, which is usually in the rep ranges of 9 to 12. So that's every single one. So if you're thinking, what reps are you doing? How many sets are you doing? That should explain it. So this exercise right now, we're doing a prime leg extension. So they've got 2 prime ones. One's plate loaded, one's pin loaded. So this is the pin loaded variant, and again, you want to just see what we're doing in terms of execution, intensity, all that stuff. So this is 109.3 kilograms, where we got 8 for the top set, and the back offset was 77.1 for 11. Now, I would say that if you do struggle to actually feel your quads doing a squat, it could be for a number of reasons, which we'll get onto later. But one thing you could do is do what I'm doing here and do your leg extensions before your squats, because you will just feel a better pump all around. Okay, so going into exercise number 3, this is going to be the one calf movement in the workout. So in terms of calves, I sort of rotate which one I do. Sometimes I do seated, sometimes I do standing. We've just got this new seated one, which you're seeing in this training clip right now. So for the past 3 weeks and onwards, I'm going to be using this seated one until I get bored of it, and then I'll go back to standing. Now, when it comes to this exercise, what you definitely need to do and definitely need to think about is pausing at the top and the bottom of the movement. This is so that you're not just bouncing through the movement, because what you can do is, if you're not doing these pauses, you end up just doing sort of like bounces off the bottom, and you're not really getting the full contraction because you're not spending time at the top and the bottom of the movement. So just add like a 1 to 2 second pause, or even a 3. That might be a bit on the long side, but a 1 to 2 second pause at the top and the bottom will definitely help. Right, now exercise at number 4. This is the main part of the workout. So this is your squat. This is your squat pattern. You can do literally anything for squats. You've got back squat, you've got pendulum, you've got hack, you've got Smith, you've got dumbbells if you needed to do a split squat. I understand though, not everyone is going to have access to a pendulum or hack. I've been to gyms before where you don't have anything. I've been to gyms where you've just got to make do with a bar. But how many people do you see doing back squat have got massive legs? So it's possible. The equipment you've got available is not an excuse for not being able to have big legs. So luckily for me, in my gym we've got all of them I mentioned: pendulum, hack, etc. I normally do pendulum. That's my go-to. If it's busy and someone's using it, I won't just sit around for an hour waiting for it to become free. I'll just go and use the hack. But if you don't have access to them pieces of machinery, then just do a back squat. Don't worry about it. But for me, I'm doing a pendulum. Now, when it comes to squatting, the most important thing you need to think about for bigger quads specifically is 1, training intensity, which is a non-negotiable given with every single exercise. But number 2 is your foot positioning, and this goes for every single squat. So, and actually, it also goes for leg press as well. So your foot positioning is very important. Okay, so you can make a squat more quad bias or more glute bias depending on where you place your feet. So just taking a hack squat for example, if you put your feet really high at the top of the pad, then it's going to be more glutes. If you put your feet a bit lower on the pad, it's going to be more quads. Simply because the lower your feet, the more knee extension you get, which means the better stretch and the more lengthened your quads are. Simple as that. So when you're doing a pendulum squat that I'm doing here, or any other squat, if you want to bias your quads, you want to have your feet lower on the pad, and that also goes for a leg press, which we'll get onto very, very shortly. Right, so that is done, and onto exercise number 5, which is an adductor. Now, boys, I completely understand that not everyone likes doing this because it looks like a girl movement. It looks like a movement that girls would do, but an adductor, doing an adductor exercise, if you're looking at your quads straight on, the adductor exercise and the adductor muscle makes your quads just look thicker from the front on. If you don't train your adductors, you're going to have a really well developed quad, but then you're going to have a big gap between both your legs and it's going to look small. So make sure you're doing your adductors. Moving on to the final exercise of the leg day, which is a leg press. Now, this is the one exercise which makes me want to put a bullet between my fucking brain because it's painful. There's nothing I've experienced that's more painful than doing this shit. So a leg press, especially where I do it right at the end of my workout, is not what you want to fucking be doing. Like, it's just not. It's really just not. So you're going to go heavy because leg press is made to, well, I say that, however, the one I'm using right now is fucking really heavy. But you want to load this up, go heavy, and really try and push yourself to the point where you're really struggling to get like 5 reps. So what I do is I load up to the point where, obviously do my warm-up sets, do my build-up sets. When I go into my top set, I want my top set to be really challenging for 5 reps and get really heavy. So I'm not just doing 12 reps and it's comfortable. I'm not doing 15 reps and it's comfortable. My first set, my top set, is going to be the most painful, heaviest experience of my life. And again, when I go back to the foot placement point, you don't want to have your feet too high in the pad so it's glute biased. You want to have them fairly low so you are targeting the quads. So this machine that I'm using right now is the Nitrum leg press. This is not a nice machine. Well, it is, but you get what I mean. So you do this at the end of your workouts after your quads are already blown to pieces from the leg extensions, from the squats, again from the adductors. Now you're doing a leg press. I promise you, do this workout, do these 6 exercises, and you will get bigger quads. I promise you. Now, boys, going back to what I said at the start of the video, you can do this workout. I can do this workout. My next door neighbour can do this workout. We're all not going to have the same looking legs. It's simple as that. We all have different genetics. We all have different past experiences. We all live different lives, and we all have different variables. So you can do this workout. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to get legs like mine. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to get legs even better than they are now, because there is a number, and when I say a number, there's so many different things which come into having big legs and having a good physique in general. So you've got nutrition, you've got sleep, you've got body fat levels, which obviously comes with what sort of phase you're at right now. Are you bulking? Are you cutting? Because if you're doing this workout, your legs might not actually look as big as you're thinking, because especially for me, when I'm bulking, I don't see my legs getting a lot bigger because they've obviously got fat covering them. But where I am now, as you would have seen, I can show you again in this clip, but my legs right now, they didn't look like this 2 months ago. They looked not defined at all. So obviously right now, because I'm leaner, my legs look better because they've got less body fat covering the muscle. So there's a number of things which get taken into consideration, but in order to get big legs, you need to, 1, do a workout similar to mine with, obviously the volume's a bit of a sticky one because it's person dependent, but do a workout similar to this that I've just shown you. Do it with intensity, because if you don't do it with intensity, just don't do it at all. You're wasting your time. 3, you need to actually fuel your workouts, and I don't just mean hitting your protein. I mean eating enough food to fuel the sessions, or you're going to be fucked anyway. 4, sleeping, because again, if you don't sleep, you're not going to recover and you're not going to make gains. 5, it's got to be a number 5. Foot nose. There's a number of, you get the point, there's a number of things that go into it. It's not just the training which gets you bigger muscles. That's the main thing I want you to take away. So yeah, boys, that's the workout. That's how you get big legs. Let's go and eat some food. Post-gym, this is what my meal number 2 looks like. So it's literally just a bowl of fruit, yogurt, and Manuka honey, which is a bit different in taste. Amazing. So this is meal number 2. Again, about 45 grams of protein. Let's get into cardio, because when it comes to actually doing cardio at the moment, I need to draw it back a little bit, because I've been doing cycling to work, which is intense, and then I've also been just doing Stairmaster as usual, but on a couple of days now I'm just trying to get 12,000 steps. So usually the best time for me to get my steps in is post meals. So whether it's meal 1, 2 or 3, just go out, get a few steps in, a few thousand steps. It, 1, helps with digestion, and 2, just ticks off steps of the day. So gonna eat this now and then go get some steps, and then we'll get on to meal number 3. Right, boys, simple meal number 3 now. When it comes to your actual diet, especially when you're on a cut, look, I know it's going to be hard and it's going to be boring, but a lot of your meals are going to look like this. So chicken rice, mince and rice, fucking, don't know, tuna. Like, it's going to be boring, boys. Like, when you're on a diet, especially when you get deep into the diet and you have to start dropping calories a bit more, it's going to be boring. But most of the time, if you want to look good and you want to get shredded, you can't just think, oh, I'm going to eat pizza, I'm going to eat burgers, I'm going to eat whatever all the time because that's just not how it works, boys. So this is meal number 3, chicken and rice going down. So I know I've just been on a walk, but again, I'm going to go finish up my steps and get 12,000 for the day after I've had this. But yeah, boys, that's basically what I'm eating on a day-to-day basis from start to finish, and that's also how you get big legs. So if you did enjoy this video, boys, you already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you lot next week. Peace.